I wanted to quickly go over how to use or some features on MyLabsplus, especially if this is your first time ever using MyLabsplus. If you use MyLabsplus in the past, then you probably kind of know a lot of this stuff in this video. The first thing about MyLabsplus I wanted to make sure you understand is where grades are put. Normally, I do if you want to get your most accurate grades, MyLabsplus is where you need to go. They'll always be updated, and just to kind of know your status throughout the whole semester, uh, MyLabsplus will give you your most recent updated uh, grades. However, I do import grades into Moodle over here. However, this won't be updated for maybe twice a month or so. So this is not a good check to figure out what your grade is or for the course. You need to go to MyLabsplus and click on Gradebook, which I will show you in a little bit, to figure out what is your most recent update as far as what your grade is of the course. I put the website here, so you can just click this website to get it. To get to the website, MyLabsplus, make sure you put nashcc.mylabsplus.com. For the username, it's going to be, if your name is Joe Carolina Smith and your ID is this 012345 and then you're going to be JC, your first initial, middle initial, and then your last name Smith, and then for the last three digits of your ID, which is 456. Your password is going to be your birth date. So if you were born on July 4th, 1989, you'll just put 070489. Do not put 19 in the password, just your 6-digit birthday. So let's click on the website. So you'll have a listing of your courses. This is all my courses that I'm teaching, but you only have the one that you're actually doing for math. So you will need to click on that. I'm just going to do a random course so you can kind of see what it looks like. So this is my spring of 2020 math 173. So right here is where you click on as far as your grade book. If you need to see your grade book as far as what your overall score for the class is going to be, this is what you need to click on. This is right here will show. Now, obviously, I didn't do any work in the course, but this one right here will show what your actual grade is, and we're on a 10-point scale for this class. So always click this, and then you'll know what your grade is going to be. Here's the homework. And what you'll notice about the homework is you'll see little green flags. These little flags, so if you're working on 9.2, in order to work on 9.2 is you need to complete 9.1 first, and you need to get a 70 or better. So you have to complete this 9.1 first, get a set click score, get a 70 or better here, and then this will open up and you can actually go ahead and start on 9.2. This is going to be really important because we want to make sure you do everything in order, because sometimes it helps to do 9.1 before you do 9.2. Also, for the course, you don't want to get behind. So make sure that you're getting this to 70%. There's always a way, or whatever grade I have it set for, there's always a way to get to your grade that you need to get to. You can ask for help from me. Get it, ask your tutors that you ask, so online resources, whatever you need to take to get to that marker so you can move up. Now, I want everybody to strive for 100, and I'll show you how that can happen. But there will be a requirement before each one of these opens. So the green flag right here will let you know, and it will go away once it's completed. So let me kind of show you a little bit in my MyLabsplus. So up in the top right hand corner, you have your grade. So this course here, whoever student was working on this course, obviously it's me, but in section 5, I have a 0. That means I haven't completed anything, or I got all my answers incorrect. So I can use these features, help me solve, do an example on a textbook. You can ask me as an instructor, but for asking me for specific problems, I would need for you to write down the problem on another sheet of paper, work it out the best way you can as far as steps, take a picture, and then send it to me through email or the text message remind, one of those two, and then I will look at your work, show you what you, give you some pointers, some tips as far as what you need to do if you get stuck, and then I'll send it back to you. That's one of the main requirements I ask. If you need any assistance after you looked at videos, did your research, did some reading in the textbook, and you still don't understand the problem, work the problem out as best as you can on another sheet of paper, take a picture and send it to me, and I'll send you some feedback on every problem that you might be struggling with. But again, this is 0, so if I wanted to go ahead and put this problem in as far as the answer, notice that it increased 5%, so I'm moving towards getting these problems right and increasing my score. Now, say for instance, we get the problem wrong. This is number 1 attempt. So let's try it again. Let's try a different number. This is number 2 attempt. And this is going to be the third attempt. So here you didn't get this problem right. So you got an X. However, remember, you want to get to a certain requirement before you move on to the next section. So you can always click on similar exercise to try to redo this whole problem to try to get it right. So anytime you get a problem wrong, click similar exercise. They'll give you a brand new problem, and you get it right, and then you move on to the next problem, and then it increases. So for every problem, you can click on similar exercise just to make sure. Now, all I ask for you to be careful of, if you clicking on similar exercise, that's fine to get the problem right and move on. But however, you need to know the material. So you have to get to a point where you can work this problem and you get it right without going to view an example, help me solve, or clicking similar exercise because you got it wrong. Because again, when you take your quiz and take your test, that these features not going to be available for you. Help me solve, view an example, or um, the similar exercise. So when you take your test, you have to get it right the first try. So you need to, at some point, even if you have to, once you finish this, go back and do even the ones you got correct to make sure you got them right on the first try, not the third try. The very first try is what we're looking for when doing these problems. The very last thing I wanted to go over is also the screen as far as when you get your access code. Now, for here, if you do not have your access code when the first day of class starts, that's fine. Don't panic. What you need to do is go ahead and click pay later, because there's a few assignments that I need you to do on the first day of class, and if you don't have your code, that's fine. Just make sure you click the pay later tab here. Now, if you're all ready to purchase the My Math Lab, you can go ahead and click the buy now. Just make sure you have your credit card ready for it. If you already went to the bookstore or on campus or NAS bookstore, ordered it online to have it sent to you, you should have the book and the code that came with the book, and you can go ahead and click on access code and put your My Math Labs pub code in. Just make sure you check before you hit submit, and just make sure all the letters are correct. But again, if you do not have it, make sure you click the pay later immediately, and then it'll give you about 7 to 10 days to go ahead and order that code, because once you shut the 10 days is up and expires, then you don't want to fall behind in your class because you're trying to figure out trying to get your code, because these courses here, you don't want to get behind and start playing catch up. That's the one thing you don't want to do. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, please send me an email or a text message. Thanks.